conservative point of view to black issues. His mission, to provide a forum for honest discussions about social issues without the liberal lapdogs shutting down the discussion. Broadcasting from the American Truth Project Studios in beautiful Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. This is Conservative Nation with your host, JERMAIN BOTSIAND.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Conservative Nation Weekend Rumble Edition. And I got the one, the only, Mr. Anthony Allen. Birthday boy. How you doing?
Yes, sir. It was a fantastic birthday. I want to thank all the hundreds of people that just gave me a happy birthday wishes. I got yours too, JERMAIN BOTSIAND.
Oh, yeah.
That means a lot to me. I mean, I just spent a lot of time just answering people, thank you very much. And I appreciate you very much too, because they took the time to wish me a happy birthday. I took the time to thank them back too. So I had a great time. Me and CAG just did our little thing, but I had a great birthday. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. We all wish you a very happy birthday. There was a lot of people who hit me up asking, hey, is it Anthony Allen's birthday? I said, absolutely. Go ahead and say happy birthday. Make sure he feels very good on his birthday.
I felt it, man. It was great.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I see people rolling and strolling on in. Make sure you guys do us a favor. You guys hit that like button. Make sure you share, especially on Anthony Allen's birthday week, and show the brother some love. All right.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We got a banging show for you guys. I mean, through the roof. And you don't want to miss it. You don't. So make sure you guys do us a favor. All right. You make sure you hit that like button, and you make sure you do share. We definitely gonna need your help. You see, all these people are leaving Facebook right now. Facebook lost a lot of money. A lot of people are leaving. They are tired of the censorship. And let me tell you something. I'm tired too. But I'm still here, putting out the truth, giving you guys the content you love and deserve. So make sure you share, do your due diligence. Brother, let me tell you something. I'm ready. Look like the crowd here is ready as well. What do you say here? Shall we give it a spin?
Yeah, let's give it a spin, buddy. Let's give it a spin.
Absolutely. Hit that like one. First one up. First story of the night here, ladies and gentlemen. We will be speaking about the mayor in New York City by the name of Mayor Adams. Mayor Adams right now is doing something that me and Anthony Allen been talking about for a very long time, let me tell you. Very long time. And gosh darn it, you know who's doing it? A gosh darn liberal. A liberal's doing it, Anthony Allen. It's blowing my mind right now to even speak about a liberal even thinking like this. But a black liberal is thinking like this here, Mr. Allen. This black mayor out of New York City, says he's pushing to remove some drill music out of social media that has been, ramping up the violence in the city and really across this nation. What he's saying, ladies and gentlemen, he's going after nigga music. Anthony Allen, he's going after the street nigga music. This is what he's saying. I mean, I've been saying this from the get-go. Street niggas are rapping and tap dancing about shooting and killing, And then you turn around and young black Americans are shooting and killing and singing the same song. It's common sense. Let me go ahead and run it when it come back. I want to get you guys a take on it. New York City Mayor Adams wants to get rid of nigga music. I support him. Here we go.
I had no idea what drill rapping was, but I called my son, and he sent me some videos, and it is alarming.
A gritty form of rap with songs and viral dances made to celebrate local murders.
The violence is infused in the music.
2 drill rappers have been murdered in New York City so far this month. The story of 18-year-old Jaquan McKinley, known as C-High, brought Mayor Eric Adams to tears Thursday.
The story of Jaquan breaks my heart. His story tests my spirit.
McKinley was shot and killed, leaving a recording studio in Bed-Stuy Sunday morning. On February 1st, 22-year-old Tajay Dobson, known as T.Woo, was killed in a drive-by shooting in Canarsie, just hours after securing a record deal.
There have been lately a number of shootings of known rappers, some very known with good careers right in front of them.
Aisha Sekou runs Street Corner Resources in Harlem. Sekou says her organization is increasingly responding to shootings, stabbings, and beatdowns that are carried out in retaliation for drill music songs that brag about local murders.
There are calls to action in the music, on the grave, to smoke on the grave of someone.
Hot 97 DJ Drewski
Absolutely.
recently said he'll no longer play what he calls diss music on the radio. But rapper and Brooklyn native Fabio Foreign defended drill this week, saying it's not the music killing people. Mayor Eric Adams told Pix 11 today he's focused on the social media sites where drill videos can rack up tens of thousands of views.
We're going to ask these companies, we're going to ask them for good corporate responsibility. This is contributing to the violence that we're seeing all over this country.
The mayor is also calling on prominent rappers to step up and step in.
I am meeting with some of the top known rappers. We have a meeting set up where we're going to sit down and really bring in the rappers and show how this is impacting and is causing the loss of lives of young people like them.
Tamsin and Corey, so many of the drill music videos we found on social media today were simply too graphic to show on the evening news. Mayor Eric Adams said if former President Donald Trump can be removed from Twitter, he certainly believes these violent videos can be removed from social media as well.
Bow. This mayor is on to something. A little Johnny come lately, but he's on to something, Anthony Allen. You know, I need to be a governor or a mayor. I'll be coming up with things. These people are light years behind. I mean, my goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, you see this? Years ago, I've been saying this. Get rid of that crap. This rap music right now, Anthony Allen, is filled with nothing but violence, just horrible stuff. I want to sleep with your mother type stuff, selling drugs, killing, all sorts of dumb stuff. It's not about uplifting anybody. And the thing is, a lot of these gang members are getting record deals for promoting this nonsense. Now, all you Negroes out there, you can hate me from here to Pakistan. That's fine and dandy. But one thing I'm going to tell you, ain't nobody listening to country music and running around and shooting and killing each other out there. Let me tell you. Let me go ahead and move on. Ain't nobody listening to the symphonies, right? The orchestra. They're not out there hitting each other with tubas. All right? I know, right? You want to say rock music, right? I know, right? Even with all the mashing, right? And they do mash. They bump into each other and everything, let me tell you. They still not out there killing and shooting each other like dogs in the street. But let alone you let rap, tap, dancing Negroes have music like this. They're out there shooting and killing where However, this type of influence, this type of people are. Anthony Allen, what do you think about what this mayor is doing here, sir?
Yeah, this mayor, he is trying to get a hand on the violence that is taking place not only across our nation, but particularly in New York City. And this drill music, if you ever get a chance to listen to it or watch it, it is the most horrible form of music one could possibly listen to. It is very, very deadly. It is like mind control. And when you see these people talking about killing, sleeping, dismembering, spitting on, this is horrible.
Yep.
It isn't even an art form. And of course, you said it very, very well. We don't see, rock and roll, country and western. We don't see any of these other genres that produce the killing and mayhem that this music does. However, I think the mayor, he needs to really also institute some sort of way to move people away from this stuff.
Yep.
This stuff is a money maker, okay? These guys are getting rich, filthy rich off of talking about killing other people and laughing about killing other people. So it's going to be very, very hard for them to give up that kind of money because that music makes them that kind of money. And that kind of money is used to buy drugs. And that kind of money is used to perpetuate more of this violence.
There you go.
I think that the mayor does have his heart in the right place, but we need to get back to families. We need to get back to finding a way to take the mind control away from this music that controls these kids' minds, because this is really horrible stuff. But it's going to be very, very difficult for him to do that. I didn't like the fact that he said if Trump can be removed from Twitter, so can drill music. This mayor is very, very liberal.
Yep,
okay,
he's
a liberal Democrat, so he will always go after conservatives in some sort of way. If he wants to remove this drill music, don't put Donald Trump in it. Okay, leave him out of it and go after the music, but don't put Donald Trump in this because Trump is not in this. This is the Black community and this nasty, horrible music that needs to be dealt with.
Fantastic. Let me tell you, Anthony Allen, that was fire. Nasty music. That's exactly what it is, too. It's not even an art form. These people are mumbling on the track. I want people to understand that. You get what I'm saying? They're mumble. I believe they call them mumble rappers now. You don't even know what they're saying. You're like, what? And these people are making buku money. These are the same folks who are using the N-word, right? Running around and saying nigga all day long and making millions of dollars. I want people to understand that. And what they do is they depreciate the Black community value here in America. I want people to understand that. That's exactly what they are doing. They're depreciating the value of the Black community here in America by pushing this out. Because young Black children, they're influenced by them, people who look like them. All right, just like every other ethnicity out there, right? A lot of times white children are influenced by other white figures. I mean, this isn't racist. It's gosh darn common sense, right? It's natural, right? You want to emulate people and things that look like ya. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when young Black children are growing up and they see older Black male role models on TV talking about shooting and killing, right? Robbing, all sorts of dumb stuff. That's what they're going to follow. They don't want to follow a white man in a business suit. You're not going to find white children say, you know what, Mark Cuban's my hero. You're not going to hear that. You're not going to hear many children say, you know what, Donald Trump's my hero. You're not going to. You're going to hear them say some sort of black rap tap dancing figure. And that's the God's honest truth. So we have to get a hold on these folks who are pushing out this influence because just like Anthony Allen said very eloquently, this type of raunchy, racist, evil music, let me tell you, and it's very evil, is funding a lot of criminal activities that you're seeing in the streets. It's a big money maker for the gangs. And this mayor, he's on the right track, just like Anthony Allen said, but I think he needs to go a step further, start really pushing the lock-up gangs, putting legislation out there, and stop talking to rap niggas out there. Stop talking to them. Most of these niggas that he's going to talk to, Anthony Allen, are drug dealers, pimps, killers themselves. What are they going to tell you? It doesn't make any sense. You're talking to people, the same folks who are promoting the stuff that you're trying to stop. They're going to try to swindle you out of the deal. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, he's speaking to the fox in the hen house. Is what he's doing.
Very good analogy there.
So you said something very, very eloquently. You said that drill music depreciates the value of the black community, depreciates the value. And that's what's happening all across this nation. Drill music, it depreciates value in any community, and even the black community, of course. It just pushes it down constantly because, these young people, they hear it and they become almost hypnotized by it. And the people that are putting it out there, they don't give a flip about these young people. All they care is about the money, how much money they can get, not how many people died because of this type of music. So, but you're right. Hopefully this mayor will stop talking to these gang members and go and make some legislation about the legality of music that is notorious and deadly and causes people to kill other people.
Absolutely.
He should fund it through. He should go through legislation. Is what I'm saying.
Yep. Shout out to Dom Lasore. Dom Lasore says it's a waste of time talking to rap niggas. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Just like you said, it's like talking to the fox in the hen house. You're wasting your time. You have to bypass these folks and do what the right thing is. We all know what the right thing is. And the reason why I say this because it's true. A lot of the times when things happen to a lot of the white community, that's when you start seeing things start to happen. This rap music here, let me tell you something, and I want the black folks to understand something, how much white people care about their children and their community. Anthony Allen, had there been music like, let's say, rock music that was promoting shooting, killing, robbing, stealing, and four-wheeling, white Americans would have shut down that music years ago. You know that, right?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
They wouldn't allow their children to sit there and have another white figure in their community promoting this nonsense. But the fact of the matter is, because it's black, white Americans feel that, hey, we don't have a right to challenge the BS that they're hearing in there. So they're allowing it to happen. And what I'm telling you white folks is that you can sit there and be quiet all you want, but you're going to see this drill music, this type of crazy behavior start creeping into your affluent areas. And when you're walking down the street and little Timmy or little Johnny get hit in his face with a bullet, that's when you'll start seeing white Americans say, you know what? This rap crap is going to have to stop. When the white Karen mom start stepping out and saying, you know what? Shamika and Shanika, you better sit your black ass down. My white child is being killed. I'm not going to tolerate that. That's when you'll start seeing a change here in America. And I kid you not. Let alone the black folks themselves, they will never change this, Anthony Allen. Right. Black folks are so retarded and blind that they know what the deal is with this music. They know about the influence, but they say nothing because most of them identify with that nigga music, that raunchy behavior. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Tracy Chandler. Tracy Chandler took our challenge on Cash App. The beautiful Cash App.
I want to also give Tracy
go ahead, brother.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, let me also give Tracy Chandler a shout out. Thank you very much, Tracy, for that donation. Let me give you a hand clap. Thank you very much.
Give a hand. Nice hand clap. Shout out to Tracy Chandler. Make sure you guys hit that right there. Make sure you do share. Next one up. I want to go ahead here, ladies and gentlemen, and speak about Dave Chappelle. Now, I brought up Dave Chappelle earlier last week, right? Since this is the beginning of a new week. Last week, I spoke about Dave Chappelle. And let me tell you something. His comments on affordable housing have taken off. A lot of people are speaking about the correlations between crime and quote-unquote affordable housing, right? Section 8. I want to go ahead and run this clip when it come back. I want to get you guys' take on it. Anthony Allen, I need his comments on this because I'm telling you, a lot of folks are starting to wake up to a lot of the scams of Section 8. Take a look at this. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
Can I go? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Dave Chappelle. I just want to say, and Marianne, I could talk to you about this privately. I don't know why the village council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while they X out a $65 million a year company. I cannot believe you would make me audition for you. You look like clowns. I am not bluffing. I will take it all off the table. That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
So Anthony Allen, Dave Chappelle said he ain't playing around right now. He ain't playing around. If affordable housing come in his area, he gone. He pulling out all his investments. He gone. He don't want baby mamas and their ratty bratty children screwing up his businesses and his property, depreciating the value of his community. My goodness gracious, what's wrong with him? He must be a writer. What do you think?
Yeah, this is the problem with being politically correct about things. Dave Chappelle is talking about something that we have all talked about before. The idea that you cannot oppose Section 8 housing in your good neighborhood, okay? People don't want to say they don't want it because if they do say it, then they are called racist. But I'm telling you, white people need to stand up against this affordable housing, just like Dave Chappelle stood up to this affordable housing, because it's a trick and it's a gimmick, okay? Because it will bring in crime, it will bring in all sorts of bad behaviors that you see in the Black community. And the fact that the builders and the real estate people, they will become rich, filthy rich, while the community and the land values go down the drain. Okay, they'll take all that money from Section 8 housing and they will put it in their pocket, and the community will just go down the drain. So Dave Chappelle is talking about his $65 million investment, and he's saying that wherever that is, I don't know whether it's housing, I don't know whether it's land or business, but he's going to take all of that away. And he's saying that investment is surely worth more than this affordable housing. The investment that's there now that he has will help build community. But this idea that you have to have affordable housing if you're not going to be called racist, that has to be done away with. There is a way to have affordable housing, but it's not putting it in a good neighborhood, because the people that are in the affordable housing, they will not change.
Nope.
They are not going to say, well, we're going to cut our lawns, we're going to keep our property nice. If it was given to them for free, they will treat it that way. And you know, Jermaine, what that type of housing does, because you have been involved in that.
Yep.
It just tears up the neighborhood.
It does. It tears up the neighborhood, and what it does is it brings depreciation in your community, and a lot of people do not understand it. See, we get into this this phase where people say, well, we just want to help, we just want to do this and do that, right? We in that phase, we're not using common sense. In other countries, when we speak about helping other folks, we're talking about helping other folks who have the requirements to be helped. In our country, we give help to folks just for nothing, but primarily what they call a special class, women and minorities. Section 8 is reserved for females, women who are, have a child, out of wedlock most of the time. If you're able to, not be with the father of your child, you're able to get Section 8 and get help. This is a lot of the problem in our country here. It's an incentive to really break up the family, but, not a lot of folks want to speak about that because, we're in this female first type of world right now. And what happens is, and I spoke about it last week, is that on Section 8, what usually happens is that these women here have boatloads of children here to Pakistan. And the thing is, they're not paying for the children. So they're able to have these type of children, 2, 3, 4. And we have drug dealers, pimps, guys who aren't having their lives in the right direction going well. They're looking for these type of women. And nobody speaks about, Jamar Quavius, shacking up with a baby mama so that he has a place to live. A lot of crime happens in these type of situations. Ain't that right, Anthony Allen?
Absolutely.
Gang members, criminals, guys who ain't up to no good, they need a place to lay their head, right? Remember, I used to be a correctional counselor. I know how these guys move. They look for baby mamas. That's why I tell women nowadays, you better stop dating and raise your children, because there's a guy who ain't worth crap waiting to date you and ruin your life. So they look for baby mamas. Baby mamas are desperate out there. They allow the criminal haven to exist in their, in their midst there. And what happens is, Anthony Allen, you know this as well as I know this, it starts breeding nothing but criminality and destruction in the neighborhood. And this is a very, very big issue. gang members cannot rent legally because most of their record is screwed up. They ain't got a real job. So they need to use somebody. And that somebody is usually a baby mama. Last words, Anthony Allen.
Yeah, the logic behind that, very well said too, is that they want to put these black people in these so-called white neighborhoods. Or
there you go too.
Because they want to influence the blacks. They say if these black people that don't have anything, if they see these nice houses and nice yards and see nicely educated people, well, that will make these black people behave.
There you go.
And so they want to influence them by putting these, affordable housing in these neighborhoods. And it doesn't happen that way. The black people who they are trying to influence by having them around a good neighborhood, they just continue doing exactly the same thing. Okay. Now there's a saying that if you give a man a fish, he will feed himself for a day. If you teach a man how to fish, he will feed himself for a lifetime. And so programs need to stop giving people things and start teaching people how to do things. That's the solution, not just give someone a house, give someone a check, and then they say, well, they will behave. No, they won't behave. That has never happened. Okay, you teach someone, how to make a living, teach someone how to live, and they can decide where they want to live. And one more point is Black people never want to start from the beginning.
There you go.
They want to move to a big house off the bat. They don't want to start small and work their way up. That's how most people, you and I and others, do it. We didn't start off with a big house in a big, nice neighborhood. We started small and we began to save our money. We learn the skill, learn the trade, learn how to treat people, and then we move up. Not just someone giving people things and hopefully that they will behave. That doesn't happen.
Absolutely. It doesn't happen at all. You have to start with a strong foundation and discipline. And a lot of them don't want to do that, Anthony Allen.
Yes.
It's not easy at all. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Butch Hunsberger. Says, WTF, do mamas leave their offspring with the new pogo stick who can harm them, sexually abuse them? They do that because a lot of them are desperate. They follow the culture. That's one of the main things that I talk about. The women follow the culture. The culture tells them, hey, you don't have to get married. You don't have to settle down. Go ahead and have as many children as you want. And guess what, girl? You can go to school. You can have a full-time job. You could create your own business. You could do it all. You could do it all. And what women find out is that once they have 2 or 3 bastard children, they can't do it all. They find out that they're sitting ducks a lot of the time. They find out that all the guys that once wanted them don't want them. Yet women find this out real quick once they start having 2 or 3 bastard children and they start dating. And they tell a guy, hey, I have a kid. Right? And then they see the guy withdraw from them. Right? And then all they do is mess with F-boys after that, right? The ones that aren't up to par, and the ladies know what I'm talking about. The ones that have drug problems, right? The sucker can't afford insurance on his vehicle. His license messed up. Something going on with him. Those are the guys that a lot of baby mamas are regulated to. And they shall be regulated to that. Because they should serve as an example of the reasons why the younger generation need to do it well. If they're not going to get the proper education like back in the day where if you had one bastard child, ain't no government help. You would actually have to suffer, and then you would make the right decisions moving forward in your life. That has been taken away by the government. Right? So now you can have as many bastard children as you want, and instead of you to suffer, the government's there trying to keep you afloat while destroying your children. So that's what the deal is. And until ladies understand that having children out of wedlock depreciates your sexual market value, depreciates your value in men in the world, then this will keep going on. The men that value you when you have children are the men that you have children with. I want the women to understand that. That's why it's very important, once you make the decision to have a child, you stick with that person. You do the right thing. And we know that a lot of the times, sometimes it ain't feasible. We understand that, but the world ain't fair. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want to go ahead here and speak about Snoop Dogg. Me Too movement is going after a lot of folks right now. Snoop Dogg is claiming it's coming after him. Snoop Dogg is accused of sexual assault and battery from 2013. Apparently, he was doing some quid pro quos. Hey, if you get down on your knees and give me a little slob on the knob, I get you a interview here, a position there. Let me tell you something. Sound like a lot of the entertainment guys to me. Let me go ahead and run it when it come back. I want to speak about this. Here we go.
Rapper Snoop Dogg now facing allegations of sexual assault and battery just days before he's set to perform at the massive halftime show for the game. The accuser suing him Wednesday in a California court. Alex Capriello has more details about this woman's accusations. Alex?
Yeah, hey there, Adrian. The accusations made in this lawsuit against Snoop Dogg describe the 50-year-old rapper as a longtime predator who demanded sexual favors from women and in return promised them jobs.
Just days before Super Bowl 56, damning accusations were levied against one of the biggest performers on Sunday, rapper Snoop Dogg. In a 33-page lawsuit filed in the Los Angeles federal court, one anonymous woman, identified as a backup dancer, claims she was assaulted, battered, and forced to perform oral sex on the rapper nearly a decade ago. The lawsuit details the incident from 2013, claiming Snoop Dogg trapped the woman in a bathroom and forced himself on her. Because she was unwilling to engage, the lawsuit claims Snoop Dogg wouldn't hire her for future jobs. Snoop hasn't responded to News Nation's request for comment. But just days ago, moments after a closed-door attempt to sort through the allegations with the woman, he posted this on Instagram. Gold digger season is here. Keep your guards up and keep your circle small.
News Nation has reached out to both the NFL and Pepsi to see if there were any plans to strike Snoop Dogg from the hip-hop halftime show lineup. No word yet if that action is going to be taken. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Al.
Go ahead and stop it right there. Now, I don't know, apparently the halftime already went on in the on the Super Bowl. I haven't I'm not really a big Super Bowl watcher. So somebody can let me know if Snoop Dogg was in the Super Bowl. Anthony Allen. So you see what happened here. Apparently Snoop Dogg was, running around, messing with these type of women here. The only women that are around him is the ones that allow him to, get a little extra. That's what it looks like. And his behavior, in a sense, when it comes down to a lot of, the things he talk about in his album and rapping and stuff, it goes along with what he's saying in his music. I mean, I don't know why the women would think that it would be different. What do you think about this here? He's saying that, the Me Too folks are coming after him. He's telling quote unquote, all his nephews to keep his guard up. You know, women are being gold diggers. This is what he's saying. What do you think?
It's very telling because the reporting anchorette, she seems a little bit incredulous about the allegations against Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
And, she kind of smirks that maybe, and she kind of shakes her head. And then the reporter on the ground there, he has to be very, very careful. And I'll tell you why, because we know that when it comes to Black people, you cannot accuse them directly.
Yep.
Because he says the wrong thing, he could be kicked off the show, he could be fired because you just don't say, that a Black person is a monster. You don't say that. You have to kind of show that, you're doubting what someone is saying. And even though, just like you said, his music promotes exactly what he did, but when you report on it, you have to be very, very careful, particularly this white reporter. Now, we know too that Snoop Dogg, he is over one of the biggest porn empires in the country. Okay. Yep. He's so prolific that he's banned in 3 European countries. That's how nasty Snoop Dogg is, and that's how nasty his porn is.
Yep.
That he's banned. Now, he may have had the ban lifted, but there are some countries that Snoop Dogg can't go to.
Yep.
He's such a
That's
filthy dog. Okay. So what we're dealing with is the fact that this woman knows Snoop Dogg. She's hanging around him and his friends. And of course, Snoop Dogg does exactly what Snoop Dogg does. Okay. He goes after women. He sexually assaults women, and he promises them that he will get them some kind of job. Okay. So he's been doing this for decades. This isn't anything new.
Nope.
But I am interested if people in the feed will tell us how the halftime show is going, because Snoop Dogg, he's a nasty, filthy, raunchy man. And who would want to listen to that kind of stuff? And who would want to be associated in that circle? So in a sense, she should not have been in that circle. And there is some gold digging going on. But Snoop Dogg is not innocent. They don't have to pretend as if he may not be innocent. He's a dog.
He is. He's a foolish dog. I can tell you that. Snoop Dogg, I believe in a sense he did do it. I certainly believe he did. These are things that a lot of these guys do in that entertainment world. They go ahead and promise women, hey, if you do this for me, I'll do that. This is not a secret. Most of the women who are in the entertainment industry have done something strange for a piece of change, did something strange to get ahead in their business. Now, let me go ahead and break up all the dismay, right? This type of stuff happens more than you think, and I want the women to understand. That's why they say that entertainment industry is a dirty game. It is, because a lot of the times the people who have access to opportunity are dirty. And I want the women to understand that. You want to get into the rap industry, you want to get into singing industry, more than likely, if you don't have a male there with you, being your protector, being your, a guiding force, you will run into scumbags and idiots who want to take advantage of you. And if you don't play their game, right? Hey, if you don't have sex with me, I'm not going to give you this opportunity. Guess what? They're out there. Is it illegal for them to behave in that manner? Maybe, maybe not. But it happens. You better believe it. And running around and crying about, hey, you know what? I wanted to be with, Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg said that if I didn't give him a blowjob, he wouldn't give me a job. You're not going to get many folks who are going to hire you. That's what the world is. That's why I don't like liberals, because they're not very honest about how people act in the world. That's how a lot of the entertainment industry is. Sorry, it's not cut and dry where you go there and you think you're the best talent. Look at Beyonce. I always say this all the time. Beyonce, a lot of people say that she can sing. A lot of people say she can't sing. Let me tell you something. There's a million Beyoncés out there. You think Beyonce is the only person who can sing like she can sing? There's people who can sing better than Beyonce who did not get a deal. You know why? Because they didn't get down on their knees and they didn't do the stuff that she had to do. You better believe it. And Beyonce, yeah, she was on her knees, just like Aaliyah and all these R&B chicks, because the guys who control it, that's what they require. And if you've done your research on a lot of these, R&B women who are very famous right now, you will find a lot of indiscretionary sex with producers and executives in their career. And you know why? It's so that they can get to where they're at. And that's life. It's not fair, but that's life. Last words here, sir.
That's exactly correct. There was a case, we can't recall this guy's name, the R&B guy. He was doing this to young women all through his career, and he finally got put in jail for it.
Yep.
But, it's a dirty, dirty business. And when someone wants to be a backup dancer, there's not a lot of skill in being a backup dancer in a rap video. All they do is shake it and jiggle it, okay? It's not like they have to do the foxtrot or a waltz or anything like that. They just shake it and jiggle it. And that's the talent.
Yep.
And so, of course, guys that require that, they see that, and they want you to perform other talents also. So this whole idea that Snoop Dogg, did not do what he sings about, that's absurd. He's over this industry. He's proud of what he does. He makes money off what he does, and he gets special favors for what he does. And now she's trying to get some money after all these years of being a backup singer. She wants a little bit of the gold now. She probably will get it. Snoop wants to settle out of court, and he'll give her $1 million and make her go away.
Oh,
of course he will.
Yeah, he'll make her go away. Shout out to Jean McLaughlin. She says, I'm tired of people making 10, 20-year-old accusations to burn someone. Statute of limitation. They should be shown the door. Let's change people to women. We're tired of women, Jean, making 10 to 20-year-old accusations, because I don't know any guys who are going up to women and say, you know what, remember that party back in 75 when you touched my balls? And I said I didn't like you to touch my balls. Let me tell you something. I had anxiety the rest of my life. I couldn't get a job. Every time I went on a job, I kept thinking about you touching my balls. I'm telling you, I'm here to sue and make sure that you don't get no job. That no guy's doing this. The women are doing this. So that's why in this new day and age, a lot of guys don't trust women, because 5, 10, 15 years down the road, if she has some sort of gripe, there's some liberal dumbass attorney who would take up a BS case to ruin your life. I wish, Anthony, and somebody would take me seriously. Gosh darn it, Kamala Harris touched my balls. Well, yeah, I walked into the DNC to report people stealing ballots. And you know what? She rushed across the room, brushed against my balls. I was pissed off. Ruined my whole life. Look at my gray hair and my beards. The gray hair in my beard, ladies and gentlemen, signifies the anxiety I had when Kamala knee pads hair is brushed across my balls. I need 100K. 100K. Make sure you got to hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right? Yeah, make sure you share. Next one up. I want to speak about a FedEx driver, brother. A FedEx driver that was put on unpaid leave because he was shot by 2 white men. I played this story. People from here to Pakistan had a lot to say about it. I want to get your comment on this one. Here we go. Make sure you guys share.
In Mississippi, a white father and son have both been arrested, charged, and let out on bail after allegedly shooting at an African-American FedEx driver. Brandon Case is charged with attempting to cause bodily injury with a firearm, and his father, Gregory Case, is charged with conspiring with Brandon to commit aggravated assault. DeMontario Gibson says he was trying to find an address while delivering packages for his job at FedEx when he says he was chased and shot at by the Cases, the bullets hitting his work van. DeMontario Gibson is joining us now to tell us what happened. He is here with his attorney, Carlos Moore, as well. DeMontario, thank you so much. This sounds terrifying. Can you tell us what happened?
Okay, so basically on the evening of January 24th, I was attempting to deliver a package to 417 Junior Trail, and I accidentally put the wrong address in, so I couldn't find the house. I eventually found the right address and proceeded to deliver the package to it. Upon doing it, I was approached by a white vehicle, and that vehicle chased me, tried to cut me off, and I miraculously got out of there. I went down the street about 2 or 3 houses after I got away from the initial vehicle, and there was a guy standing in the middle of the road holding a gun at my vehicle and telling me to stop, which I did not do. They essentially just chased me out the city, and I had to file a police report after that. Shots were fired into my van as well. Yes, ma'am. That's a quick summary of it.
Very quick and helpful. And so you were wearing your FedEx uniform when they saw you outside of your van, is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I was fully dressed in FedEx uniform.
And what do you think the Cases were trying to do? Were they trying to kill you?
Honestly, in my humble opinion, I think they were, because after they fired the initial shots, they continued to chase me out of the city again. I say so. If you didn't succeed the first time, then I could just only imagine what they was going to do if they had caught me.
Did they say anything? What do you think their motivation was here?
I honestly have no idea. We had no type of interaction before they did what they did. No words were exchanged or anything like that.
Okay, and Carlos, can you tell us a little bit about DeMontario's interaction then with police once he got them involved here?
Yes, he immediately called the police that evening after he got to the interstate and informed his boss. The police did not take it seriously, so his boss went down with him the next morning to the station to make an official report. She showed them the bullet casings, the actual vehicle with the bullets in it, and the packages with the bullets, and then they started to believe him. However, they still allowed the Cases 8 days of freedom before they turned themselves in to the Brookhaven Police Department, spending less than a day in jail on a $75,000 and $150,000 bond. And so that's why the family has contacted me, because they wanted this to be taken seriously and for there to be real charges for the Cases.
DeMontario, when this was happening, and it's really just happened here recently, as you looked back on this after a little bit of time had passed, did you see similarities to the Ahmaud Arbery case?
Yes, ma'am. I can definitely see the similarities, and that's why I feel it's my responsibility to speak up, because Ahmaud Arbery didn't survive to speak up for himself, so I want to take that upon myself to do that for me and him as well.
So they're out on bail, and they were given time to turn themselves in. How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I kind of figured that was going to happen in the first place when I initially reported it, because, like I said, the officers were not taking me serious at all. Even when I went to the police station, they weren't taking me serious. So I kind of figured that was going to happen.
If this was a black...
Right, so, Anthony Allen, this case here got nigga written all over it right now. I can tell you that. You can look at this brother here, right? I've said this from here to Pakistan. I'm gonna get famous for it. When you're raised by a single black mama, you're gonna have squiggles in your hair. The man has squiggles in his hair. Anthony Allen, I don't know if black folks know English correctly. You know, they said that they were here 400 years in slavery, right? It sounded like they were just released today. The way this man talking, you know what I'm saying, Anthony Allen? My goodness gracious. And then on top of it, Anthony Allen, he start off with what I call a nigga lie. He says that, Anthony Allen, he says that, you know what? I have put in the wrong address. I mean, it just starts off like a nigga lie. What do you think about this here? Do you believe him? Does he sound credible? I mean, what do you think about the man's story?
Yeah, there is something fishy going on here, where he put in the wrong address, but then he skipped over. When he put in the wrong address, what did he do? Did he go there? Did he knock on the door? Did he peek through a window? What did he do when he put in the wrong address? What got these guys so angry?
There you go.
Now, the other thing is that, you know, he's so dressed up. He has on what someone called a pimp suit. He has his hair, you know, all styled up, you know, all twisted. He looks very, very pretty. Okay. Yep. He's all dressed up, he has just come from the hair salon with his hair twisted up. And I don't think the story is adding up correctly here. And the reporter is pressing him to talk about the Mayberry Aubrey case.
Yep.
Okay. This isn't what a reporter should be doing. She wants to put a link there. You know, it's fishy too, because the FedEx is not really associating themselves with him.
There you go.
Like they should be. They are distancing themselves from him. Why are they doing that? They must know something that they can't tell about yet. And the other thing too is he still working there? Has he been fired? Okay, that's not talked about yet either. There's something going on there. Maybe you can shed some more light on this story, but it doesn't feel right to me.
You know what? Your assessment is what I call common sense. His story just doesn't even make any sense, right? He said, I had put in the wrong address, and it's almost as if he skipped over all the crucial parts of the reason why these white men were sitting there trying to shoot at your ass. And what I believe is that this man was doing the wrong thing, Anthony Allen. You know, I don't think he was up to good at all. I think he was either casing the joint, or he was on somebody's property where he shouldn't have never been, in an area that he should have never been. Because if you're, FedEx, you're just dropping some packages off. Nobody's going to sit there and just try to shoot at you and do all this. They're not going to. But if you're a FedEx driver and I catch you in my backyard, in my shed, you get what I'm saying? I'm going to shoot at you. Like, what the hell are you doing there? You get what I'm saying? So the context of this story is everything, and these folks ain't giving it to us. All they're giving to us, ladies and gentlemen, is emotion. They want you to feel sorry for this Negro. That's it. They want you guys to think of this as a racial incident. And I don't believe it is. That's why the cops didn't move fast on this at all. And I believe, Anthony Allen, the cops only charged these two individuals because these folks ran to the NAACP and the rest of these, these type of, we'll call them criminal organizations, but these civil organizations out there that will try to lock them up, like the ACLU and such. These people are evil, evil, evil to the core. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, that's what's taking place here. FedEx has distancing distance themselves from this pretty boy. Okay. And what usually happens is a case like this, they get the NAACP involved, they get these black lawyers involved, and the situation starts spinning out of control. And they want to capture that narrative that white man shot at black men who was innocently walking around the neighborhood. Okay. And like you said, FedEx people are up and down this street all the time, and they do one thing. They just go to the house and go back to the truck. You never see them do anything else. They don't walk around the house. Yep. They don't look in the backyard. Apparently this pretty boy was doing something, like you said, that he had no business doing.
There you go.
Maybe he was casing the joints, and they figured that out. Maybe there were some break-ins because he's been casing the joints.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something fishy going on.
And then on top of that, shout out to Brian Ziegler. He's asking the question that a lot of people are asking. Why is he on unpaid leave? You get what I'm saying? There has to be something that he's doing nefarious, Anthony Allen, that it isn't being exposed right now. You get what I'm saying? Because just his whole story doesn't even make sense at all. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how many FedEx drivers put in the wrong address. Just the way that he's started off, skipping over stuff, nothing makes sense at all. So I believe that we shall see these two white men get off. This man is very lucky. Whatever he was doing that day, he's lucky he's alive. Because one thing I do know, God loved to save babies and fools. So if he was doing something foolish, let me tell you something. He got saved, certainly, for sure. You better thank God. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. All right? Absolutely. Next one up here. Brother, we need to speak about Canada right now. This truckers convoy protest. Let me tell you something. It's taking the world by storm. The Canadian, there's a Canadian judge that happened to make an order this week for the truckers to leave. If they didn't leave, apparently law enforcement would be showing up. Yesterday, since they didn't abide by the judge's order to vacate immediately, Canadian law enforcement arrived at the border. I want you guys to take a look at this when they come back. I want to get your take on this. How far do you think this movement will go? Here we go.
And you are now looking at live pictures from Windsor, Canada, the south side of the Ambassador Bridge. When you're in Detroit, Canada is south of you. That's the south side of the Ambassador Bridge. On the Canada side, police are assembled there now. This is a very different situation than it was last night. A court order went into effect at 7 p.m. Eastern last night, ordering the truckers to disperse. They did not disperse overnight, and we are now starting to see police stage to reopen the biggest and most important border crossing between Canada and the United States. I'm Ali Velshi. It is Saturday, February the 12th, 9 a.m. in the east, 6 a.m. in the west. Protesters at the U.S.-Canada border continue to defy that court order to vacate the area and permit traffic to flow on the Ambassador Bridge. I want to go straight to NBC's Cal Perry. He's on the ground there. He's been there all night because this is the biggest police presence we have seen at that blockade yet. Last night, you and I talked late yesterday evening, Cal, and one of the points you made was that police had been given the authority by the courts to move in, but they had not done so. This is a very, very different picture behind you now.
Absolutely, and they gave a couple of warnings last night, 7 p.m. and then midnight, and clearly the sun up, and they want to take advantage of the daylight. I'll get out of the way. Billy Angelucci is going to show you. There are two lines of police. This is going to look similar to sort of what we see in the U.S. when we talk about breaking up some of these demonstrations, but there are a variety of differences here. Number one, the police have been communicating with the folks here since early morning hours, and they've been letting some of the folks who've left their vehicles here, intentionally blocking this road, leave and drive away. We've seen, Ali, a number of people making that choice. Knowing the police were coming, it was obvious they were staging You can see the buses that they've brought in. There are tow trucks, the big industrial ones that obviously tow these commercial trucks nearby in a parking lot. So it was obvious that this was happening. The moves were very deliberate. They were very slow, methodical, and again, communicating with the protesters here and letting some of them go. There is clearly a want now to get this roadway open. This is a hundreds of millions of dollars a day problem for both Canada and the United States. As we talked yesterday, the pressure really ratcheted up. Joe Biden calling the Prime Minister here and saying that he would do whatever it takes to get open. The Prime Minister saying that it would happen imminently, and it seems to be happening this morning, Ali. Oh, one more thing as we learn Canadian geography together with Ali Velshi. The police are London police. So this is a provincial effort. They're coming from, I think it's about 200 kilometers away to the northeast of here. It was that slow buildup that may have explained why last night at 7 p.m. when that court order came through, we still didn't see anything until this morning. They were bringing in police forces from around the province to support this effort. Before I send it back to you, Alan, I'll just show you. If you spin around, Bill, you can see police have moved in the other way now as well. Lots of lights, lots of flashing, and there's this hardcore group in this intersection that remains. This is the last of the protesters, and you have to do some protest math. About half of those folks are live streaming or are media. So, I mean, there is probably a dozen or so folks left here. The question I think that remains now really is whether or not we'll see some of that symbolic arresting where police come and folks want to get arrested in front of the cameras out.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about this, who the police were, because we did hear from the Prime Minister yesterday that this will end. The Department of Homeland Security in the United States has offered help to the Canadian government. The conservative, very conservative government of Ontario, the Premier, has warned this is going to end, which may involve state police. And I've just now seen a tweet from the Windsor police, who are not the police next to you. You've got, those are London, Ontario police. They seem to be helping, as you said, in the effort. But the Windsor police have just tweeted, Windsor police and its policing partners have commenced enforcement at and near the Ambassador Bridge. We urge all demonstrators to act lawfully and peacefully. Commuters are being asked to avoid the areas affected by the demonstrations at this time. So the police have tweeted that the enforcement actions have begun. One of the things that was different last night is that police were standing by. They had the authority to do it. They were distributing pamphlets to indicate that they would do it. This is what Windsor and Detroit look like. They're center cities across from each other, across from that Ambassador Bridge. That is one of the unusual places where Canada is south of the United States. Windsor, Ontario, is on the south side. Detroit is on the north side. But according to the reporting now straight from the police, the enforcement actions have begun. Just to be clear, and police are saying that they have begun clearing it out. You are not seeing anything that looks like arrests or confrontations between police and the truckers.
And I'm going to stop it right here. So, Mr. Allen, we have seen the government make way now. They have gone and cleared up a lot of the protesters there, as you can see. What do you think about this here? How far do you think this protest will go? Because we know that it's still a movement that is moving through that country and our country as well, with truckers in this country moving their way to D.C. What do you think?
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. And as I've been watching this, I've been relating this back to the civil rights movement. The genius of Dr. Martin Luther King and Mahatma Gandhi has been lost on the Democrat Party. And, you know, these Canadians, what King did has been lost. They have not studied history, because it is obvious to anybody. A dumb clam can figure out that the Canadian Freedom Convoy is right, is good, is proper, and also it is moral. And once it becomes moral, it is also heard by God. God has seen what's taking place in Canada, and he will intervene in this. I don't care if they have the police there. They're talking about all the police are going to do this and do that. They can be there. And that's what happened during the civil rights movement. Bull Connor was, sicking dogs on people and, using fire hoses. Governor George Wallace was in the schoolhouse doorway, so to speak. Uh, these people are going to win because of one reason and one reason only: they are correct. They are doing things the right way. God hears them and he will protect them from whatever the police are going to do. Uh, Justin Trudeau, he will be in the same position as George Wallace and Bull Connor. God will sweep him into the dustpan of history. This movement is correct. They are not violent. They are not doing the wrong thing. They are trying to get people to understand that they want their freedom. And when people fight for freedom, God hears them. That's why the civil rights movement was so successful.
Yep.
And this is why this movement with the Canadian Freedom Convoy, it will be successful. It's spreading across the whole world. It will be here in America. And doesn't matter to me what they do. I know that they are correct. God hears them and God will take care of them and he will sweep Justin Trudeau into the dustpan of history along with George Wallace and Bull Connors.
Absolutely. You know, what they're doing is that they're trying to kill the movement.
Yes.
You know, they are seeing how this can really affect their country. And right now, they were trying so much. They wanted to first, use tow trucks, right? Justin Trudeau wanted to use tow trucks, and the tow truckers didn't want to do it. He tried to use the police. Police were at a standstill. They couldn't do it. He had the judge order, and now with everything going on, you know, he really bulled his way to this now. This, in my eyes, is a very bad look because he could have really transformed the country and the morale of the country by doing the right thing. But what he did was, in my personal opinion, is the wrong thing. He really, really pissed off a lot of folks. And what I believe is that the movement will be even bigger now because of the way he acted. Doing this shows that the government is against you. This is what it shows you. He's not for free speech. He's not for freedom. He is for tyranny. And it's such a shame that there's a lot of people who are still backing him across the world, across our country, and acting and behaving like him. We have little Trudeaus everywhere. You get what I'm saying? I mean, even here in Minneapolis, Mayor Jacob Fry, he's a little Trudeau. And I don't make this stuff up. Last words here, sir.
Yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at a parallel to the American Civil Rights Movement. Now, a lot of Black people have not studied this movement, and they don't quite understand what they're looking at. But this has been raised to the level of moral. Okay, this isn't just some guys running around. I believe, and I know for a fact, and I feel that this movement is moral now. And Justin Trudeau, he is wrong. The truckers are absolutely correct. Now, when I say that they're right, I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm saying that they are correct. They are doing the right thing. And Justin Trudeau will lose. He will look like Bull Connor and George Wallace. That's the look. Justin Trudeau is now Bull Connor. Okay, that's the look that he has. And these truckers will win this. And we as conservatives, we have to stick together and let this thing play out. And we'll see that this could be the downfall of Trudeau because he's absolutely incorrect.
Absolutely. I hope his actions have really opened a lot of folks' eyes. Let's go ahead and move forward. Let's go. let me go ahead and give somebody a shout out here. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Lola TX. Lola TX took our challenge on Cash App. Shout out to Lola. Shout out to Lola TX. Shout out to Lola. Next one up here, ladies and gentlemen. Next one up. I would like to speak about crack pipes. Yeah, crack pipes. So, brother, when you go ahead and hear the word crack pipe right now, I think it's really linked to the Democrat Party. I think about Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Every time I hear crack pipe now, I mean, I just can't get it out of my mind. Hunter Biden laying down in the bed in his gosh darn undies, or him standing up with his undies with his shades on with a scarf, with a crack pipe in his mouth. I mean, it's just a horrible, horrible, horrible vision. And I think if somebody wants to start a Stop Smoking Crack campaign, they should use Hunter Biden. He'll be a very good image, don't you think?
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? You stop smoking crack and you got Hunter Biden there. Black shades, you get what I'm saying? Scarf, him in his undies, crack pipe in his mouth. My goodness gracious. That is a Stop Smoking Crack campaign. Right now, black liberals from here to Pakistan are trying to save Joe Biden and his reputation in the black community. Joe Biden has really been screwing up his reputation. He's been saying nigger right and left. They gave him a pass there. He's been making a lot of crazy statements. And right now, the administration wants to give crack pipes out to solve, quote unquote, America's drug problem. $30 million program. Now, black liberals from here to Pakistan are standing up right now, Anthony Allen, and you know what they're saying? They're saying that this is a lie. There's no crack pipes. And Joe Biden's not giving out any crack pipes. This is a lie. See, this is a conservative trick to try to trick black people to being mad at Joe Biden and the Democrats. No way, it's not going to happen. Well, I want to go ahead and run this clip. It's a MSNBC clip. And they're speaking about how conservatives and Republicans are lying about this. And I think it's so funny. It is. I want you guys to take a look at this when it come back. I want to speak about it. Here we go.
Dr. Jason Johnson is back with me, and also joining the conversation is Cassandra Frederick, the executive director at the Drug Policy Alliance. Cassandra, let's begin with you and set the record straight. Is President Biden handing out free crack pipes?
What this federal funding is focused on is giving money to harm reduction organizations that are giving public health instruments to folks in communities. And really, this is historic in nature because we've been dealing with the overdose crisis for so long, and the federal government has not invested in the public health infrastructure that we need. So this is really about giving resources to overburdened, under-resourced nonprofits that are working with people who use drugs to get access to resources that we know will lower the incidence of drug use. We know will connect people to treatment and housing and food supplies. And we also know works to reduce the likelihood of people overdosing, which we have just hit 100,000 people.
Bow, let me go ahead and stop it. You heard them dirty ass liberals. I want folks to understand. Liberals ain't smart. Liberals ain't smart at all. They were saying GOP is crazy. Anthony Allen. This is what they're saying. They say the GOP is so goddamn crazy. They over here saying Biden's giving out crack pipes. Look at the safe smoking kit, Anthony Allen. Let's go ahead and read it. Let's read it. Glass pipes and stems. What? That's the first one of somebody. Somebody come and get me. That's the Anthony Allen case closed. This woman got to shut down her show. What the heck? The first one up in the safe smoking kit, $30 million. What you're giving out is a crack pipe. Holy smokes. Going for it.
Yeah, and I thank you, first of all, for clearing that up, because I think that's such an important point while you have other outlets and networks drumming up all this misinformation and lies, because the subtext here, which we really know what
she is, she's reading a boilerplate. She's just reciting something written on a card that she's just supposed to say. And they asked her directly, is the Biden administration handing out crack pipes? And what did she say? She doesn't answer that. She just kind of shakes her head, but she does not say no. And then as she's talking, what happens? The graphics behind her, the graphic shows up behind her. And the first line in the graphic says glass, crack pipes, and stems. You can't make this stuff up.
You can't.
Okay? That's just like during the Iraq War, and that general was saying there are no Americans in Iraq, and then this tank rolls behind him. This American tank rolls behind him. And this is the case of being real stupid. This is why I tell conservatives, do not back down.
Yep.
Because we're trying to help people see what big liars liberals are. The typical safe smoking kit. The first thing in it is glass, pipes, and stems. You can't make this stuff up. Now, we do have one more clip if you want to play that. Do you want to do it now?
Yeah, I could do it now.
Yeah. This is also very, very telling as to how liberals are, what big liars they are.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and show you guys this
Revolutionary Charger is taking.
Give me a quick second here.
Yeah, this is from the, what's his name? Roland Martin show.
Roland Martin.
Yes, and he was talking about the fact that there are no crack pipes in the kits. He asked a lady this question, and we want to see what her answer is. You'll be amazed how she answers that question.
Absolutely. Let me go ahead and start it here. Here we go. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you share. Hold on here for a quick second. Oh, that's why.
Palatable face. And the reality is we can't leave folks behind who are using other drugs. And that's why I think it's important to have the conversation about safer smoking, safer crack consumption. And that's an important component of safe consumption. So there will be both places where you can safely inject, as well as a space where you can safely smoke. And that will include clean pipes. That will include clean syringes, as well as all the other things that the Biden administration is getting out into communities. So I think it's really
there
important
you go.
that we don't.
There you go. So Roland Martin was on the hunt too, and he was talking about, well, the GOP, they're making a big deal about this. Biden is not giving out crack pipes, and you heard it right here in the safe smoking kit. Glass crack pipes are going to be supplied. What's wrong with these fools, Anthony Allen? So now we figured out what the deal is. These people are trying to cover for Biden. Why are they covering for Biden?
Yeah, this is what we call the racism of low expectations.
There you go.
Okay. These people don't believe that we're smart people and we are paying attention to what they're saying. And we just proved twice that there are glass pipes in these kits. Okay, there's a graphic that popped up behind this foolish woman that was talking about the fact that there are no crack pipes in the kit. And then this white woman, bless her heart, she couldn't tell a lie. She had to tell the truth. And she said that there were glass pipes, crack pipes in these kits. And so what is wrong with these people is the fact that they're liars.
Yep.
And we as conservatives should never back down from this because they expect so little of Black people that they want to give Black people crack pipes to smoke dope. Okay, they will give illegal aliens $500,000. Okay, they will pass a Asian crime bill, but for Blackie, this is what they think of Black people. Give them some crack. Also, in the safe smoking kit are condoms. So get them high and let them screw like rabbits.
Yep.
Just shut them up. And that's how liberals treat Black people. Liberals treat Black people like pets, lab monkeys, or yard dogs. They treat Black people very, very shabbily. And conservatives have to move away from the identity politics. We don't want people to have crack pipes. In fact, why do you call it a smoking kit?
Yep.
If it's not a smoking kit, don't call it a smoking kit.
It's a drug kit.
It's a drug kit, and they got everything. Someone needs to smoke crack in those kits.
Yeah. That's everything they need except for the crack.
Bring your own crack. Bring your own bottle, bring your own crack, and we have condoms also in the kit.
I'm telling you, keep them high on drugs, and you'll rule them. That's basically what he's trying to do. He's an evil guy. Let's go ahead and move forward. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you do share. All right, we're gonna need your help. Next one up here, brother. I want to speak about Biden. Now, I've been speaking about Biden and his leaked documents. The New York Times, the New York Post, CNN, ABC, Fox News have been reporting on these leaked documents that have to do with the Afghanistan withdrawal. Now, a lot of people are upset about Biden and the way he and his administration is handling the press on this, and also their reaction to a lot of the report. I want to go ahead and show you this very, very quick clip. It's with CNN's Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper, to his credit, is in dismay, and he's upset by the way Biden's rejecting of the U.S. Army report on the Afghanistan pullout. He's saying it's very insulting, and he believes that there's more to it. I want you guys to take a look at this. Here we go.
It's difficult to overstate how insulting Biden's sweeping rejection is to so many service members and veterans, given the full content of the 2,000 pages of documents in this U.S. Army investigation, which CNN has also obtained. Many accounts are from troops who were on the ground at the gates near the canal around the airport. Non-commissioned officers, junior officers, Joes, people with little political motivation to lie, and heavy legal and moral obligation to tell the truth in sworn statements.
There you go. So very quick clip here, Anthony Allen. Jake Tapper is using common sense here. He's saying that the Army report is saying that you guys didn't do your due diligence in informing folks about the real deal situation on the ground. You didn't get resources to the people where it was needed. It was a big F up. I mean, what do you think about this? And I showed Biden's retort to that earlier last week with Lester Holt. He sat down and had an extensive interview with Lester Holt, and he says that he had to get out of Afghanistan, and he couldn't, basically lose any more troops. I want to go ahead and get your take on this. What do you think here, sir?
Yeah, let's always remember that Joe Biden is a illegitimate president, and his administration will never, ever do anything correctly. Now, it is annoying to me that CNN, they did everything they could to support the steal. They did everything they could to, have Joe Biden in office. And now they're upset with Joe Biden because Joe Biden does not believe the report. This is the same CNN that believes that Joe Biden won the election. It is very, very crazy to me that CNN would go there. However, they did go there. Now, this report says that that our army was not ready. We knew that they were not ready before they went in, but somebody made the decision, and that person has to be the commander-in-chief, and that person has to be Joe Biden. Now, what the implication is that Joe Biden may not have seen the report. Well, that has to be a lie. Joe Biden saw it, and he went in anyway. And as a result of this debacle, no one has been fired. No one has resigned. No one has been demoted. And I think because of what happened in Afghanistan, impeachment needs to be on the table. These Republicans should have articles of impeachment already written up. And who should be impeached? Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, Clown Kamala Harris, and of course, President Joe, you ain't black Biden. Needs to be impeached on day one.
Absolutely, because one thing I do know, had President Trump messed up like this, he would be on the chopping block right now.
Yeah,
they would be talking about this from here to Pakistan. They would not let this go. This would be an impeachable offense, and trust and believe, Republicans will go along with it. They would.
Absolutely.
But with Joe Biden, they're not going to touch him because he's the Luciferian's man. Very, very, very evil of Joe Biden to be insulting intelligent army officers, people who don't have, how could I say, an incentive to lie. It's very insulting for him to do that. Very. Now, Trump was on Fox and Friends the other day, and he spoke about Biden on Ukraine. Biden right now, he's trying to act tough with Ukraine, but he's also letting folks know that, hey, Ukraine about to, invade in a couple of days right now. But he's working with NATO and some other folks to try to deter casualties if needed, and also try to stop the invasion from occurring. Trump rips Biden on it, and I think that it's well deserved. Biden doesn't know what he's doing, and the thing is, they smell weakness. Biden is very weak, and it's showing, and that's why you got all these leaders who are making a lot of big moves that they wouldn't have made if President Trump was in office. I want you guys to take a look at this. Here we go.
Well, let's get straight to it. Let's bring in the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump. Mr. President, thank you so much for joining Fox and Friends Weekend.
Well, thank you. It's an honor. And we have a lot of problems in this country, but it's
An honor to be with you.
Well, we're grateful to have you, sir. Well, let's start with the headline we've had all morning long. What's happening in Russia, what's happening in Ukraine. The White House right now is saying an attack could happen at any time. On your assessment, where are we and how did we get here?
Well, first of all, it's shocking because this should have never happened. It should have never happened. It would not have happened. And how we got here is when they watched Afghanistan and they watched the most incompetent withdrawal in the history of probably any army, let alone just us. They saw that, and President Xi and President Putin, watch what happens with China versus, but with Taiwan. But they watched that and they said, what's going on? They don't know what they're doing. And all of a sudden, I think they got a lot more ambitious. I think Putin really wanted to negotiate for a period of time. I think when he watched Afghanistan, when he watched that unbelievably bad withdrawal, incompetent, where they took the military out first, where they left $85 billion worth of equipment behind for the Taliban to have and to sell and to use. And, of course, the death that happened. When they watched all of that, I think they got emboldened.
President Trump, Joe Biden is scheduled to be on a call today with Vladimir Putin. What do you think he can say? What should he say? If you were in office today, what would you say to Vladimir Putin?
Well, I wouldn't be in this position because we're in a very bad position right now. And it would have, as I said, it would never have happened. I know him very well, got along with him very well. I stopped his pipeline. I sanctioned them more than anybody ever sanctioned them. Nobody was ever tougher on Russia, but I got along with Putin very well. We respected each other. I think you have a whole different ballgame right now. This is just an exercise. He's not going to tell him anything, and I don't think Putin's at this point going to be listening. It's going to be very interesting to see what he does in terms of the depth. Will he take a small piece? When Biden originally said he's going in, everybody was like, did he just say that? Nobody could believe it, but he said it. And it was almost like a card. Ukraine went crazy when he saw that, when they heard that, the president. But now the phone call, I think, is perfunctory. I don't think much is going to come out of it.
Yes, sir. Republicans have introduced a bill that would block aid to Ukraine until our southern border is secure. The thinking is, why would we be worried about a border in Europe when there is a disaster happening right here at home? Do you think that those two issues should be linked?
Well, I certainly understand how people feel. We had the strongest border we've ever had, our southern border. We were 3 weeks away from finishing the wall. After going through 2.5 years of lawsuits with the Democrats and winning them all, we were 3 weeks away from, think of it, finishing the wall, which is largely, frankly, finished anyway. It's a tremendous help. We had the best numbers in the history of our country on the southern border. Very little was coming in. Very few people were coming in, other than coming in legally. We had the lowest drug numbers, the best drug numbers in the last 32 years, and they were getting much better rapidly. And all of a sudden, this guy takes over, and the border is opened, and we have millions of people. I think it's 10 million. They say 3 million. But people coming in, countries all over the world are releasing their prisoners into our country. We're like a dumping ground. So I can certainly understand how people feel when they say, let's try and tie one to the other.
Bow. And I'm going to stop it right there. So, Anthony Allen, let me tell you, President Trump on fire. He said America's like a dumping ground right now.
Yes.
This is what he's saying. Republicans want to put out some legislation tying aid to Ukraine with, putting aid to our border. And the thing is, it's very common sense. Why are we sending money to go help secure another country's border when our border is screwed up and the cartel members are shooting at the Border Patrol? Outrageous, let me tell you. What do you think?
Yes, outrageous. Trump, as usual, is 100% correct.
Yep.
This is a disaster, what has taken place, but always keep in mind that Joe Biden is an illegitimate president, and everything that Joe Biden does or touches will just be completely ruined. Here on this show, we review the recruiting videos of the Russians and the Chinese and the Americans. And we saw that the Russian and the Chinese recruiting videos show young, strong men training, working hard to be warriors. And the American recruiting video showed a little small, woke little girl talking about, how nice things were. What I'm trying to say is that it's going to be very, very difficult to fight a war when your soldiers are woke.
Yeah.
Okay. And these Russian soldiers and these Chinese soldiers, they are not going to be woke. They will be trained correctly. And so Joe Biden wants to enforce the Ukraine border while our border is wide open. Trump is exactly right. This is a dumping ground that they are using on Americans, and there should not be any American on the border of Ukraine. Now, the left, the Democrats, they need a war to distract from all the stuff, all the bad news that they have coming out of this illegitimate administration. They need a war. They need to wag the dog, and that's what they're doing with this. Now, if we do go to war, it's going to be devastating.
Oh man!
And and very, very demoralizing.
It will.
And the demoralization of America is what they want to use to bring in socialism full force. This could be the war that if America is defeated by the Russians in this little skirmish, then it will demoralize our country to the point that they can usher in socialism unchallenged. So we are at a very, very, strange point now, Jermaine Botsio.
We are.
But before we go on, I do want to give a shout out to Lisa and Lola TX for their generous donation. Thank you very much, Lisa, and thank you very, very much, Lola TX.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and give them the customaries. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So, a lot of folks have been saying that this could usher in like World War III, Anthony Allen.
Yes, absolutely.
I played a clip with Putin, and he was sitting there speaking in a conference. And what he said was, hey, if anybody hops into our conflict, we're not scared to go to war.
That's right.
He was talking about their military might is incomparable to the NATO. He's saying that NATO ain't nothing to their military might. He was also bragging about their nuclear capabilities and their modern warfare capabilities. So I believe that, Russia, which is one of the biggest countries, if not the biggest country in the world right now, they're a big contender. And one thing I can say is that if anything happens and Russia needs backup, China is right there with them. Can you imagine the Chinese? And they have the biggest army in the world right now. China, believe it or not, their military spending through the roof, Anthony Allen.
Yes.
And their military members per capita is crazy compared to ours. I want folks to understand, China, you talk about military strength and might. Well, liberals are slashing our spending yearly for the military, Anthony Allen.
Mm-hmm.
You have China spending a gosh darn our GDP on their military. It's ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous. Let's go ahead and move forward. Last but not least, Anthony Allen, I want to speak about our story of the night. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let me tell you something, how the chips have fallen and how they have taken so long to fall. I could tell you that. I want people to take a look at this here real quick. Let me go ahead and transition. Make sure you share. This comes from the dailymail.com. Trump accuses Hillary Clinton campaign treason after special counsel John Durham said they paid tech firm to hack into his White House and Trump Tower servers to find Russia links. My goodness gracious. I mean, big story right now. Durham investigation has brought charges against the FBI attorney and a former Hillary Clinton campaign worker. And it also has led to arrest of a Russian-born spy charged with lying to the FBI. So, big story this weekend. Very big story. Huge. Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Trump servers and Trump campaign. This is what the Durham report says. Now, before I play this, Anthony Allen, I don't think ain't nothing gonna come up from this. And when you guys hear this, you'll know why. Take a look.
We're back with a Fox News alert. A new report from special counsel John Durham coming out late last night claiming Clinton campaign lawyers paid a tech company to infiltrate Trump servers to fabricate a connection between Trump and Russia. Former acting attorney general under President Trump, Matt Whitaker, is here to react. Matt, you've seen this report. For our viewers, this might be new for a lot of people. What do we learn here?
Well, it's beyond outrageous. And good morning, Pete. I'm glad to be with you. What we've learned is that there were spying operations going on both to the Trump campaign and its Trump Tower headquarters. And then when President Trump became president, they continued to spy on him at the executive office of president. And the question it raises for me, Pete, is why was the federal government not defensively briefing President Trump and his team and the campaign as to this domestic spying operation that was being conducted by the Clinton campaign? And the reason is it appears that they were complicit in wanting that information, wanting that the link between Trump and the Russia government, and that just does not exist, and it never did exist. And so this Durham investigation is so important to reveal how much of a hoax this truly was.
So, Matt, you're right. This latest revelation from Durham names tech executive number one, law firm number one, tech firm. You don't get names. But what you're saying is it couldn't have just been one tech firm and one tech exec and one law firm. People inside the government would have had to known this as well.
Yeah, if you really think about it, how protected government servers are and should be, there are certainly government agencies monitoring this traffic to make sure that it's not compromised, that it's not being routed through other people like this university and like this private internet company. But it was, and it was being, not only was it being reviewed on an ongoing and regular basis, but it was being used to ultimately try to create a let's call it a dossier, for lack of a better term, but a document that was going to be used against President Trump or candidate Trump. I mean, again, it is beyond outrageous what happened here, and the fact that the left doesn't seem concerned that this is what was happening, I think shows you how much they wanted to take President Trump down.
Well, we'll get to see that today. As we pointed out at the beginning of the show, entire movies, books written about Watergate and the Washington Post's involvement in digging. Does the Washington Post cover this? Does CNN cover this? Is there any interest by any of the legacy media to get to the truth of the fact that a duly elected U.S. president was spied on? That's an intentional term by a political candidate and other levels of government.
Yeah, and that is exactly what it is. And remember, the attorney general at the time said that Trump had been spied on, and everybody dismissed that as hyperbole. That is exactly what happened here. We have to make sure it never happens again. But it is also extraordinary how successful President Trump was and how he fought through all of this to ultimately make a significant consequence in the arc of American history to the positive.
And ironically, now we're talking about a potential Russian offensive because of an actual weak U.S. president. Amazing. Matt Whitaker, thank you so much for breaking this down for us.
Great to see you this morning,
Great to see you.
Wow. So, Anthony Allen, my goodness gracious. Man, oh man. The truth has came out. Clinton campaign, I mean, they created this whole mess. We already knew this, though. We did. Trump has came out and said that, hey, they spied on me. The FBI and these folks spied on me. They laughed at him. Even when the FBI director came out and said it, right? Nobody took him seriously. Remember that we even said this was Trump's vindication. Nobody cared then. John Durham report. Let me tell you something. There's a statute of limitation that ain't nobody talking about right now, Anthony Allen. Statute of limitation is 5 years. Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing gonna happen with this. What do you think?
I tell you, this is very, very troubling. The infiltration of Trump's servers was actually what's called a man-in-the-middle cyber attack. Trump said that his phone that he was wiretapped. That's an archaic term for what really happened. Everybody laughed at Trump.
Yeah, I remember that.
But I knew that they were talking about a cyber attack. That's how they do things now. This was a man-in-the-middle cyber attack, and this man-in-the-middle cyber attack is a catalyst for the coup. It's the catalyst that overthrew the U.S. government. What it did was it behaved like a linchpin. You had Hillary Clinton on the outside and using the man-in-the-middle cyber attack, she could spy on candidate Trump from the outside. Once he became president, the man-in-the-middle cyber attack was used by Barack Obama to spy on Trump on the inside. So you had Hillary on the outside able to spy on Trump, and you had Barack Obama on the inside spying on Trump because of one thing, the man-in-the-middle cyber attack. With the man-in-the-middle cyber attack, they were able to look at the packets going back and forth or coming out of those Trump servers. They could redirect them down to Georgia Tech, look at them, and use that information to always go after Trump. Now, once Hillary Clinton left the scene, she lost the presidential, so she left the scene.
Yep.
And then once Barack Obama left the White House, the apparatus was still in place by the deep state. And that's how our government was overthrown by the man-in-the-middle cyber attack. Now, what should happen is that Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and those people involved, they should be thrown in jail for life.
I'm telling you.
Because what they did was treason, it was sedition. And just like Trump said, he said, in a stronger period of time in our country, this crime, treason and sedition, would have been punishable by death. That's how serious this is. Now, people don't want to believe this, but we have been overthrown in a soft coup.
Yep, we have.
Biden is not the legitimate president of the United States. our country was overthrown, and you can see the results of having a illegitimate president. But a lot of people need to go to jail for overthrowing this government.
They do. It's an evil, evil thing that they're doing right now, Anthony Allen. Very evil. Super, super evil. Nothing they do will ever be blessed. I can tell you that.
Right.
Everything they do brings destruction. And as you guys can see here, these folks, even though we know that they have done this, they know that they're going to get away with it. They know that they will never honestly be prosecuted. And that's very painful. It is. There's a statute of limitation on these type of crimes, and it's 5 years. I want folks to understand that. So we're not going to see, anybody getting carted off right now. I want people to understand that if you're thinking that somebody going to jail, don't hold your breath because you're going to die. Don't you do that. I think that they should, make some sort of legislation to try to correct it. And hopefully that will come out of this deal here. But people going to jail and things of this nature, you're not going to see it. It never happens. And with the statute of limitation being 5 years, ain't nobody going to jail. You're just not going to see it. It's just so terrible that this is going on here. We need Republicans and conservatives to stand up for what is right, and we need them to make noise. A lot of the time, it's us who are not making the right noise. Republicans as a whole, as a party, needs to be making noise about this. The only people who are making noise about this was the Trump campaign and people who supported Trump, Anthony Allen. The Republicans didn't really care too much about this. So that is a lot of our problem. The Republican Party is against us as well. So we have to recognize that, and we have to act accordingly. Anthony Allen, buddy, pal, that is our show for tonight. I want to thank everybody and their mama for coming out, hanging out with us here on this snowy Sunday. Any last words for our beautiful crowd here? So
yes, this beautiful crowd, they're awesome. I get a chance to look at the comments. These are smart people, and they love talking about conservatism, and they're not afraid. They know that these Democrats and liberals are terrible people, and they lie, and they're talking about this in the feed. So we know that these are some smart people, and these are people that really will make America great. I do want to thank Tracy and Lisa and Lola Tiek for the donations. That's going to help me out a great deal. And I want to always say that we as conservatives need to stick together. Do not allow the Democrats to have us form into a circular firing squad and begin to take shots at one another. We need to be straight in a line and go after the Democrats, go after the liberals. Never let these people put you in a circular firing squad. Look toward them and take your anger out on them because they stole our country. It's a soft coup, is what they did. Didn't fire a shot, but they stole our country. And Joe Biden is the head of an illegitimate government.
Absolutely. Joe Biden, crazy as hell. Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen, crazy, cuckoo. Let me tell you. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Brother, I want to thank everybody for coming on in here. I want to thank everybody for hitting that like button. I want to thank everybody for sharing. I'll be on tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you guys come and hang out with us. Anthony Allen, thank you so much for coming out, hanging out with us as well.
Thank you, my friend.
The crowd really does appreciate that. I want to thank everybody once more again for hitting that like button, sharing, and donating. I really do. So that's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in the crib. I'm trying to stay warm. It's snowing like crazy. Anthony Allen, once more again, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Hopefully the years treat you well.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You,
you guys take care. Have a very good night, and we'll catch you guys here later with another edition of Conservative Nation. Good night.